Hey friends, hope you're having a good Thursday. This is going to be a bit of a quicker stream. I got 30 minutes, a bit less than normal. FOMC weeks always throw off my crypto streaming schedule because I usually stream 2 p.m. and that's when the FOMC is. So wait just a bit here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Almost the end of the week. Notable shifts today among crypto versus other markets. And we'll see where we stand post FOMC from yesterday. Certainly some strength in individual names. Everybody's favorite villain, Ripple, getting a ton of attention. And we'll get started here in just 30 seconds. I'm wearing a velvet vest because I'm going to see some music. It's new. And there's pants that match. Hawaii, Germany, Scotland, Canada, Florida, Ontario, UK. Appreciate the likes. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk about charts. So first off, NASDAQ, S&P 500, weak. Bears in complete control. I have to see momentum shift if I'm going to go bullish. Otherwise, I'm just going with hourly downtrends, daily downtrends, weekly downtrends. I'm not trying to find the bottom in the broader market. I'm going to miss the bottom. Unless we get an extreme flush where things get to extremes, my style of oversold bounce, I'm not going to try and play bullish while we are weak. I will wait for the momentum to shift before I look to play long. So that's just me personally. But it was a notable day today where a lot of our high risk, high reward sectors sold off hard. And if we look at solar has a big drop the last 3 days. EV names, Tesla with a big 2-day drop. RIVN with a big 5-day drop. We have cannabis names dumping in a big way over the last bunch of days. Today was a real red day in cannabis. MARA holding up a bit better. Crypto related. Crypto names standing out today for their strength. My point is there's weakness in a bunch of places in the stock market, and I looked at my crypto list. What in the world? Plus 23%, 8%, 9, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5%. That's a lot of green in crypto. As a high risk, high reward asset, I would expect that on a market day that was red with high risk, high reward sectors selling off harder, I would think that crypto would have a solid red day. And it obviously did not. So that is notable. And so what's the reason for that? Well, with Ripple leading the way, I haven't even been following the Ripple fundamentals closely. You can all fill me in. But I'm assuming it is something related to court cases and positive developments, and that may be perceived bullish for the crypto space as a whole. Whatever the reason, there's relative strength in crypto today. And if you look at Bitcoin divided by the NASDAQ here, we can see on the daily time frame, this is the most convincing day of Bitcoin strength relative to the NASDAQ since September 9th. Curious what day that was. That was a Friday. So it's been 2 weeks since we have seen this kind of strength. If this is going to continue of being notable relative strength, we've got to break the high of a couple weeks ago. We have to get to the highest level that we've seen in the last couple of months. And the hope for the bulls here would be that this is a falling wedge. Because if this breaks out from a falling wedge pattern, that would tell us that Bitcoin is significantly outperforming the broader market. It's also possibly just a channel here. So keeping an eye on both of that. One day doesn't mean anything. One day in correlations, when you're looking bigger picture, does not mean anything. So this is one day that gets our attention, and now we're watching into the weekend. Does this continue? Does this relative strength continue? Forgot to mention before we get into it any further, all the ebooks that we've been putting out, we've compiled them all in one spot. So tons of useful information throughout this year that we've been putting out, finding flow state, back burner trading strategy, how to build a trading game plan, day trading or swing trading. Posting that in the chat right now, and I'll post it in the comments of this video, but nice to have them all in one spot if there are any that you've missed along the way. Free ebooks, free books. So Bitcoin, I posted on Twitter, if Bitcoin bulls are going to do anything in the short term, it's going to be a falling wedge bull break. We are battling to hold 17.5 thousand, the recent low, and the only hope for the bulls is that the recent bear break of support, it's a win for the bulls to break 18.5 and not go right through 17.5 behind it. That shows us, okay, bulls are playing defense. The question is, can bulls go on offense? And to do so, it's going to take a while in my opinion, because if we look at this 3-day chart, I can see bear breaks lacking follow through, but anything under 22.8 is just a lower high here. So we can bounce 10% from here and still be in this lower high pattern. So it's possible, I mean, with this being a 3-day chart, every candle is 3 days, it's possible this plays out for another 2 weeks, potentially. Maybe a little bit less than that, 10 days or so, but you get the idea. This pattern doesn't have to break anytime soon. The burden is on bulls because bears are confident. The only people interested in this potential falling wedge are the most aggressive bulls. If you're not a most aggressive bull, and I'm not, then you're waiting for this to break bull, and then you start getting interested bullish. Again, you know you're going to miss a solid move off the bottom, but the idea is that when you start going bull again, it's with the wind at your back in much more favorable conditions as opposed to trying to go bullish in downtrends. If you've been trading well, oftentimes that'll be a thing for me. If I've had a good month, I'll be a little bit more high risk, high reward. And I'll say, okay, well, I've got solid profits on the month, so maybe I'm going to risk 20% of those profits to try for a bullish position in this spot. And if I stop out, then that's a-okay. But if I'm, having a red month, this is not the kind of trade that I personally would look to take. In the short term, we've got a 4-hour tightening range here. I'm probably going to be zoomed out to the 12-hour. Anything under 20,000, we'll call it, is just a 12-hour lower high within this tightening range. Again, we had the reaction to the FOMC, bull initially, big dump with the broader market. We held on with more strength on this bounce this morning, and we're holding on here at the end of the day because stocks closed down near their lows, much, much weaker. And that's where the relative strength is coming in here. So a short-term win for the bulls, but the broader stock market has to find a bottom. Because if the broader stock market falls through and breaks our fear low, then Bitcoin's going to break 17.5. Very, very likely. I would say if we're going to break the recent fear lows in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, the probabilities that Bitcoin's going to break 17.5 is 97%. So we're heading towards these support levels, and they're coming into play. Right now, the NASDAQ only needs to see a drop of 4% to hit fresh fear lows. So this is what we're keeping an eye on for the broader market over the next week. And yes, there is relative strength, but that relative strength is not going to be able to hold up against fresh fear lows, in my opinion. So we're watching the broader market for that. We know the dollar is continuing strong. That's a factor in weakness in markets right now. Potentially rising wedge, but again, rising wedges and breakouts. How many times have we seen Bitcoin give us a rising wedge in a bull market and it breaks bull? So I don't have a ton of confidence in this dollar rising wedge. I talked about the dollar and some other clues in my broader market video that I just uploaded. It's a little bit shorter than normal, so check that out. But overall, bulls must hold the fear lows in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, in my opinion, if this Bitcoin chart is going to be a falling wedge. There could be one more scenario where we break 17.5. That's not it. But if we break 17.5 on Bitcoin straight into a notable bounce, then that falling wedge narrative will remain intact. But again, it's just bulls' backs are against the wall right now. And they're playing some defense, but they don't have much room to work with. And they've got a lot of proving to continue to do. And they need help from the broader stock market, is what it all boils down to. Dominance chart is tightening up. Not a whole lot of information recently from the dominance chart. Getting a lot more information from the individual altcoin pairings. So let's look at Ripple. That's what's getting the attention. This is a big bull move, obviously. We are up over 50% in the last week of trading. That's very significant, and it happened very quickly. And there are a ton of Ripple haters out there. I don't care at all about the fundamentals. I care about the flashing numbers that are going to go up and give profit. If you are a trader, in my opinion, that is the mindset that you want to have. Which flashing number can most easily put money in your pocket? So XRP is in a weekly uptrend, and it is currently hitting the highest levels that we have seen since May. So we are currently at 4-month highs. If Bitcoin were at 4-month highs, where would we be trading? Well, May 9th, we would be trading at about 30,000 right now if it were doing the same thing, plus 50% from here. So it's an extremely notable bull move. The dips have been aggressively bought. We had a bear reaction to the FOMC, but that dip was very aggressively bought. That was it here. And you can see the hourly RSI. Look at the response to these RSIs. We know in strong uptrends, hourly RSI marked the daily higher low here at 34 cents. Hourly oversold conditions. We now have 15-minute oversold. Nope, 5 minutes is what I wanted to show. 5-minute oversold has marked, we didn't quite get there here. We marked the higher low from an RSI of 33. So that shows me bulls front running 5-minute oversold conditions. The last time we did see 5-minute oversold conditions, that was the best time for an entering on consolidation. So we're seeing XRP act as we want to see our lead bulls act. Short-term RSI levels hitting oversold are marking our longer-term higher lows. So at this point in time, we just had a climax top rejecting from psychological 50 cents. Look at that 1 minute volume. Highest 1 minute volume that you can see for miles. And that is the textbook description of a volume climax. We then had a pullback of about 4% or so. But we're still extremely strong. 15-minute isn't an uptrend. If we lose the 15-minute higher lows, we look for an hourly higher low. If 5-minute oversold conditions happen, hitting hourly EMA 12, aggressive bulls are watching for a bounce off that level. So I'm going to be watching for a daily volume climax to mark this top because we have a ramp up in volume and a very strong move up. But there's no sign of a top right now, in my opinion. That short-term climax top that we saw on the 1 minute is not acting like a climax top on the longer-term time frames. XRP BTC is hitting the highest levels in a very long time. And this chart is doing what I was looking for LTC BTC to do. You know, I've been talking, if you've been watching, I've been talking about LTC BTC and the weekly chart for a while. Look at how similar these two charts are. The biggest difference being, obviously, the follow-through. XRP BTC, weekly. Get rid of all these lines. Look at how similar this is. Everything is extremely similar except for the last 2 weeks. They're going in opposite directions here. So Litecoin is looking at XRP BTC and saying, I wish that was me. It was so close. It could have been me. But it's not. It's XRP. And so what we're seeing in XRP BTC is that we are the strongest that we have ever, no, not ever. We are the strongest that we have been comparative to Bitcoin in the last 1 year. So that means XRP is now outperforming Bitcoin better than it has in an entire year. We can't just shake that off. This isn't just a quick little pump and dump. It's going to pull back hard when we top, don't get me wrong. We will pull back 15% very easily once that top is hit. But this move has a lot of volume behind it, and it is fairly sustained in the sense that it's a week long at this point, this breakout. So we want to be watching our BTC pairings. It's in the spotlight. I can't tell the difference between the 15-minute US dollar pairing or BTC pairing. It's doing the exact same thing, which is what the bulls want to see in what we call the spotlight correlation. We'll be watching for clues that the BTC pairing is weakening first, for potential clues that a top may be found in the short term, but we're not seeing that at this point. So it's an impressive bull. Love it or hate it, the underdog's on top, and it's going to shine until its heart stops. So that's a song. Atom is also showing some strength, just in the sense that we broke daily support and we're not seeing any bear follow through. So we do have weekly consolidation underway. Anything above 997 is a weekly higher low. 4-hour downtrend, still a guide, although not a lot of clarity there. Short-term resistance, 1510, very clear. We just topped out at 15 twice, so bulls are struggling at 1510. I'll talk about when to short XRP here in just a second. I'm just trying to find the time frame that I like the most here on Atom. And again, whenever I see a bear break with a lack of follow through, I start to keep an eye out for the possibility of a falling wedge. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. But what's most important is, does Atom BTC confirm a head and shoulders? Remember when Binance BTC, was it Binance, gave us a daily head and shoulders? It wasn't Binance. I wish I remembered who it was. There's a good example out there. Anyways, we lost daily EMA 12 for the first time in a month. And now the question is, do we confirm this head and shoulders into more significant weekly consolidation? And the start of weekly consolidation, it's still a stair-step pattern, weekly higher low every candle for 2 months. So an Atom bear is hoping that this rolls over to confirm the daily downtrend and weekly consolidation on Atom USD. And again, we're just continuing to watch because if you remember the last 2 years, every single lead bull that we've had eventually turns into a lead bear. It happened with the metaverse names, Sand and Mana. It happened with Wave and GMT and Ape. That shift always happens. And so we're now watching, is Atom going from our lead bull and is it going to shift into a lead bear? And the answer is, if Atom BTC does not confirm a break of this weekly stair-step pattern, it's not going to happen. But if it does, then yes, that will be starting to confirm that that is happening. If you want to short XRP, the only way to do it is top fishing a clear resistance level or having a lot of experience as a trader doing the exact opposite of how I scale into oversold bounces. If you are overbought on the daily, the 12-hour, the 4-hour, the hourly, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and you see climax volume, you're looking to short, you're looking to scale into the short, and your stop is based on the amount of dollar risk that you're willing to take. That's a more advanced trading style because it requires a lot more discipline and emotional control, which is why I reserve that trading style for those with a lot of trading experience. Just like I don't tell new traders to try my oversold bounce plays, that comes from years of practice. So advanced traders look at that shooting move up to 50 cents and they shorted it. They scaled in short 485, 49, 495 because the RSI on every single time frame was over 80 and that marked a super stack kind of top. If you are not advanced, you're looking to top fish. So you're looking for a 15-minute lower high, looking for a short, you'll stop out at 50 cents breaks and we keep continuation going and you're hoping that we confirm a 15-minute downtrend into hourly consolidation. So if you have less experience, you have to be playing off of a level in my opinion, and the only level we have right now is 50 cents as far as recent levels. A patient trader that's looking bearish is going to look for a bull break to a new high that lacks follow through, and they're going to look for that to be their top fishing short. So if we break 50 cents and we go up to 50.4 and then start consolidation, I may short right there and put my stop over 50.4 because that shows me bulls losing a lot of their momentum. And it would then be a potential rising wedge type of scenario, showing some bull exhaustion, not following through on that new high. Sand is starting to see a little relative strength. Sand is another one where, this is a potential falling wedge on the daily time frame, which falling wedges always have me paying attention. It doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily play them bull, but it can mean if I am shorting, if someone is shorting crypto and they see a falling wedge forming, well, I would have it like this, so I guess it's already attempting to break bull. So anyways, Sand is standing out because it has not been near the top of the green list in a very long time. And if you look at Sand BTC, you can see that we are at the highest level in a week and a half or so. We are trying to get over daily EMA resistances for the first time in over a month. And what we have to see for a name like this to shift the correlation that has favored bears significantly for months, we need the monthly high or low. It's either a monthly bear flag or a monthly high or low to try and work on a longer term trend change. And if you look at Mana BTC, same thing. Can we confirm a monthly high or low and try and change the monthly trend? A lot of work is needed. We still have clear weekly lower highs forming. Mana right now is weaker than Sand. Mana USD divided by Sand USD shows me a downtrend, at least a shift recently. A loss of the uptrend, we'll call it. So Sand is gaining on mana for the first time notably. Again, I look at this day. When's the last time we saw a big red candle that size? Not in over a month. So this is the most notable day for Sand comparative to mana in the last month. Sand BTC, it's the most notable day for Sand BTC in the last month plus, probably more. So again, this doesn't mean I rush into a bull position. This is something that flips a switch in your brain that says, okay, this is different than what we've been seeing for the last 4, 6, 8 weeks of trading, however long it's been. I'm going to start paying attention to the possibility that there's a shift in the market environment for this individual name. It's been a sustained, significantly strong downtrend of relative weakness for a long time. We're seeing again, one day. One day does not mean much, but it's enough for us to start paying attention in the other direction. It's enough for us to start shifting our mindset a little bit because we know lead bears turn to lead bulls and lead bulls turn to lead bears. And so we want to recognize the signals that give us the first indication that these are potentially taking shape. These market shifts are potentially taking shape. Will I ever transition into futures trading? Yes, someday for sure. And TCG has a ton of futures traders and a great Slack chat room specific to futures with lots of in-depth coverage. Lamont is killing it in the futures room along with a bunch of other traders. Ireland checking in. I got the hat down. Donegal Island. Wool tweed. All right, XRP trying to make its way back. If we're going to set a 15-minute lower high compared to 50 cents, we've got to lose the 2-minute uptrend. So I'm marking some 2-minute support levels. Do we have a 1-minute rising wedge forming, shaping up a 15-minute lower high? Could be. So if this 1-minute potential rising wedge breaks bare, a 15-minute lower high is likely shaping up. And then we're looking down to 4768. But for now, the bulls are keeping control on every time frame. And so the probability of a short is not high conviction. Because again, if I believe that we will top out with a volume climax kind of top, and we did on the short-term time frames, but it's not a volume climax on the longer term time frames with how it's currently shaping up. If it were, in my opinion, you see that blow off top result in, a loss of the 15-minute higher lows right out the gate. Because what that blow off top showed us is, look, we didn't even get 1 minute oversold. I mean, clearly the bots and the algos are still buying some of these dips if we're not even hitting 1 minute oversold at this point. But keep an eye on that 1-minute rising wedge to see if it's a 15-minute lower high. And again, that is how we utilize short-term, zoomed-in details to try and put ourselves in probable scenarios for the longer-term setup. I use 5-minute rising wedges to scout hourly lower highs all the time trading stocks. This is the same thing, just different time frames and how they relate to each other. Way too soon to guess if the dollar has topped. The dollar is not showing any more weakness than it has shown us a bunch of times in the last couple of months. I mean, right now with where the dollar stands in this moment, it's the second highest close on this daily candle that it's seen in a decade plus. CHZ, daily bull flag confirming. This was the cup and handle like pattern I was talking about in the last live stream. Was it? I think so. Bull flag attempting to confirm. 3315 is the next major level from here. Hourly, 4-hour uptrend. Let's see if CHZ BTC So it wasn't a cup and handle, but it's confirming the daily bull flag as well. Still clearly a lead bull. Very strong. No red flags. And what we've got now is a new daily benchmark level, 2218. If that level is holding, bulls are in control of the daily time frame. So this is definitely one of the stronger charts out there. 2654 is being tested right now. Bitcoin can definitely be a potential laggard bear. Again, I'm still very surprised. It's still way stronger. It may eventually roll over for the 12-hour lower high. But these alts, I mean, people are putting money in altcoins today, which is, again, a surprising day to see that happen. All right, I got to get going. I appreciate you all tuning in. Check out that link for the compiled ebooks. Even if you're not going to short XRP, this is a lesson. Watch how it tops out when it does. It'll be useful next time around. Still watching that 1 minute rising wedge for the 15-minute lower high. Do good things. Thanks for the likes. We've only got 75. We need 100. And we will see you soon. Have a great rest of your Thursday.